It's 4 o'clock in Jonesboro, where authorities and family are still reeling from what happened over the weekend, when a man is believed to have murdered 2 women in Indianapolis, Indiana, then traveled to Jonesboro and took his own life. Why he came to Jonesboro, the connection, the latest information, what's believed to be a suicide note from the killer, and a plea from the father of the 2 victims. It's all coming up in this broadcast. A murder in Marmaduke over the weekend. We just got the incident report. We're going to read the full thing to you here coming up on NEA Report. A Truman fire destroyed a business there and many reacting. We have the details. Also, the Quorum Court in Craighead County is set to hear about the Crisis Stabilization Unit tonight, and showers this week. It could happen. It could. We'll have the details next.
Reporting.
The news begins tonight in Jonesboro, where authorities are still trying to make sense of why a man drove here after killing 2 women in Indianapolis, Indiana, and then took his own life. It happened on Friday. We began getting the news over the weekend. The story is all over the place, really, but let's begin with what we found out about in Jonesboro at the very first. 2:45 p.m., November 24th. Friday, officers responded to 115 North Drake Street in reference to a call of an attempted suicide. When officers got there to the scene, they found Daryl Jackson, 29, of Indianapolis, Indiana, deceased in the vehicle. He had shot himself in the head with a pistol. His father, Daryl's father, was the individual that had contacted police. That may have been why that he came back to Jonesboro, as a lot of people have been asking themselves that whenever they've read these different stories over the weekend. He contacted police, said he tried to get there before his son killed himself, but he could not make it in time. During the investigation, it was determined that this was not just a suicide, but more had happened. It was determined that much more had happened. 2 women had been murdered in Indiana before the suspect drove here to Arkansas. Those 2 young ladies are pictured on the screen: Mallory Jackson, 27, and Meredith Opal, 20. They were sisters. Mallory was also the wife of the individual who's believed to have committed this act, Daryl. The 2 women were found dead at 5:30 p.m. Friday evening in Indianapolis, Indiana, according to local news there. The 2 women were identified Saturday afternoon to authorities, or to the public, I should say. Mallory, as we mentioned, Daryl's wife, and the 2 were sisters. While not specified, an Indiana public information officer said the women were found to have had trauma to their bodies, possible blunt force trauma, cause of death. Officers knew the brutal double murder scene was what it was when they arrived, and they contacted detectives who began investigating and determined fairly quickly this was not a wider spread threat to the community. They believed it was a crime between people that knew each other. Jonesboro officers are cooperating with Indiana detectives as they try to figure out what happened, but we may have a little bit more information just through our own investigation. We found on NEA Report and published this morning photos uploaded less than 24 hours before the murder took place, or at least one photo. That's the one that you're looking at on the screen. And the photo depicts Jackson, Daryl Jackson, and one of his victims, Mallory. It isn't known if this photo was actually taken 24 hours prior, or if it was an older photo he decided to upload, but the upload date, 4:51 p.m. on November 23rd. It was not even 24 hours later, authorities found his body in Jonesboro. Daryl's Facebook profile revealed several details about the man believed to be responsible by police for these heinous acts. He and his victim Mallory had been married since October 21st, 2015, his profile said. It said he attended Jonesboro High School before then attending Reinhardt University in Georgia for business administration and management. And he graduated there in 2013, but he had actually received a scholarship, at least one, seemed to be a decorated student who worked very hard. His last Facebook post was made at 2:23 p.m. on November 24th. For those who are keeping up with the times, that's just about 20 minutes before authorities found him. In that post, he seems to have completely given up, despite his educational accomplishments. And he also makes a plea to readers saying, quote, "Before you judge me, take a second," he says, "to realize the faith you could have restored before the demise. It appears like the post is his effort to avoid taking any type of accountability for the difficulties he's going through, but the statement, in addition to blaming others, also says that comment about before you judge, showing he knew he had done something most in the public would revile and would find out about just a few hours later. Many of the replies to his post on Facebook were very emotional and ranged from hatred to compassion, and other responses as well. But one response was particularly of note. It was the father of the two young girls who were murdered. The father wrote, "No words can begin to explain the pain and grief our families are dealing with. To think there are those who know little or nothing about this situation who are trying to assign blame as unjust as these acts themselves." The father wrote, "In honor of my beautiful daughters, please be kind to one another. With all the evil in this world, we don't need additional hatred or threats." Sadly, those two girls on the screen murdered, and the individual believed to have been responsible for it has committed suicide. In the photo we did show you a moment ago, the last photo posted to Facebook of Daryl and Mallory, we should point out that the original photo that you're looking at right there had a small baby in it. That child, we've confirmed, is now orphaned. It was a child of the couple. A murder investigation is underway in Marmaduke after a man was shot to death early Sunday morning. The full details from the Greene County Sheriff's Department, or at least what we have so far. It happened Sunday at 1436 Greene Road 419. That's County Road 419 there in Marmaduke, and it's being investigated as a first-degree murder. However, no charges have been filed as of yet, as of 4 p.m. today, and we'll get back to that here in just a few moments. Stephen Goodman is the suspected shooter in the case and has been Mirandized, and I believe is also in custody as authorities investigate this. But here's the full information that we have in the police report provided by the Greene County Sheriff's Department. They said that a 911 call came in at about 7 a.m. Sunday morning, and a second call came in. In fact, a call came in. The first call said there was a lot of yelling and a gunshot heard from the residents on Greene County Road 419. The second call was from the man who had apparently done the shooting. He said he had just shot someone at his home at the aforementioned address. Dispatch sent officers and told the man that they're on their way. The man said he's sitting at the top of his stairs and the gun was unloaded. Dispatch advised the officers of what was going on. When they got to the scene, there was a 13-year-old being transported to the hospital for an unknown injury. And still not sure how that's relevant to all the other details, but it's in the report, so we wanted to mention it. At 7:14 a.m., Marmaduke officers got to the scene. They began trying to clear the scene and find out exactly what had happened. They first found a woman that had blood on her hands and clothes. They asked her to kind of hold back so they could secure the scene. Whenever they approached the front door was open, with the storm door was closed. They could see at the front door a man was lying on the ground in front of the door with blood around his head and blood on the front of the steps. Through the glass on the storm door, an officer could see and hear a rifle sliding down the steps. That would be the suspected shooter, still on the phone with authorities at this time, who was putting his gun down and coming out with his hands up. That's always what officers do when they arrive to one of those kinds of scenes, whether somebody's been shot or it's just somebody inside with a gun. The officer said they could see the caller sitting at the top of the stairs in the residence. They aimed their sidearm, and of course he complied and got out of the residence. The suspect exited the front door. Says he was Mirandized. He was escorted to the driveway away from the residence. He acknowledged he understood his Miranda rights. It doesn't say in the initial report what he stated. EMS arrived at 7:21 to check the pulse. They could not find a pulse at the scene. The Greene County's coroner showed up a short time later, I think at about 8:56 a.m. and cleared the scene by 9:22 a.m. The full scene was cleared by 10:59 a.m. Now, it was stated in a report erroneously a short time ago by a local television station, Channel 8, that charges had been filed in this case. That's not correct. Charges can't be filed until the investigation is complete. It's very simple procedure. The prosecutor will file charges after he looks at the evidence of the case provided to him by the Greene County Sheriff's Department. Law enforcement agencies don't file charges. They present the investigation to the prosecutor who would then file the charges, especially in felony court. Now, if it's a misdemeanor court, drug court, and things like that, sometimes prosecutors will file, or sometimes the law enforcement agencies, it will all be done at once. But it's still, the charges must be done, especially when you're dealing with a murder case. The charges are filed by the prosecutors, and no charges have been filed in this case as of yet. They may come, we will see, but if something happens and this is ruled as a self-defense, it's likely that's where the charging process would stop. Therefore, it's not only erroneous, but it's irresponsible to state that charges have been filed in this case when they have not. A weekend fire ravaged a transmission shop in Truman. You're looking at a photo right there, courtesy of Fire Text from Facebook. The Sunday fire was said to have completely destroyed Tim's transmission shop in Truman. On Highway 163, I should say, the building was engulfed in flames as departments from the Central Community, Truman, Harrisburg, Southridge, and Wiener all responded in a vain effort to try to stop the flames, but evidently the building was believed to be a total loss by a fire official there at the scene. The much talked about Crisis Stabilization Unit, that mental health facility that was at least hoped to have been built in Craighead County, well, that's coming back up on the Quorum Court's agenda tonight. It was initially going to be something Craighead County Sheriff Marty Boyd was planning to discuss, but as we were talking to Sheriff Boyd this afternoon, he's actually sick, and so someone else is going to be discussing it in his place. It's a regular Quorum Court meeting that's to be held tonight. Some of those are actually live streamed by Craighead County Clerk Kate Holliday, but Facebook's been really glitchy lately, and so it's been difficult to get that live stream up. But the plans are to discuss that Crisis Stabilization Unit tonight. We don't know exactly where that discussion will go or what's to take place in that, but we will try to bring you the full details on that following the meeting or on tomorrow's newscast. Showers could be in the forecast, although it's not a very big chance, but it could be here before the week is over. We'll have those details coming up in the NEA Report weather forecast on the way.
We had a website that we had had for a number of years. It had become unwieldy to navigate. Ace One said, give me a little time and I'll come up with something and just see what you think about it. It blew us away. Ace One and his staff have given such close personal attention and outstanding customer service, just as if we were a $1 million company. I just can't say enough good things about them.
It's stacking up to be a pretty nice weather week this week for us here in Northeast Arkansas, but we do have the possibility for a few showers to show up, so we're just going to give you a heads up now to watch out for those Wednesday. Here's what the forecast looks like from New Wave Wireless, home of the $49 iPhone screen repair. For tonight, looking for the low to drop down to 42 degrees with clear skies. Then for tomorrow, we're expecting a sunny day. That high, get this, 66 degrees, and the winds will be up a little bit too, about 15 miles per hour out of the south. Mostly clear tomorrow night with a low around 44. Then on Wednesday, a 20% chance for some showers afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny. That's why we've got the sunshine kind of popping up behind a little rain cloud there on the forecast. High near 63 for Wednesday, a 20% chance of showers after midnight Wednesday night, with otherwise mostly cloudy skies and the low around 50. For your Thursday, warming up just a little bit. Well, staying the same temperature, I guess, as the day before, with the high around 63, mostly cloudy skies, and then partly cloudy on Thursday night, the low down to around 37. For Friday, a tad cooler with a high near 55, but sunny skies. Saturday, giving you a couple of bonus days now. Sunny skies and a high near 58 and a high near 60 is what the National Weather Service expects to see in Northeast Arkansas on Sunday, with more sunny skies on the way. Well, this morning as I looked outside and down my road, we're a Monday trash day here in Jonesboro, and everybody had their garbage can by the road, which meant nobody had looked at the schedule, at least not on my street. It looks like this. The Jonesboro trash schedule is a little bit different this week, and again, just a good reminder to have. Forget about the first week because that's last week. The bottom week is the one we're looking at. Thursday collection was done today. Tomorrow, Tuesday, that's going to be you Monday people, okay, and you Friday people too. Then Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be collected on Wednesday, and the schedule goes back to normal by Thursday and Friday. But you got to keep that in mind, because otherwise you're going to have, 700 pounds of leftover Thanksgiving food out in your garbage can for 2 weeks. That might get stinky. Here at NEA Report, we love Christmas time. It's one of the most magical times of the year, and in Northeast Arkansas, I don't think it could get any more magical. The lights, the decorations, the spirit is already in the air. You can feel it as you drive around, and we want to give you a good list of all of the fun stuff and the events that are going to be going on every night at the end of the show here. That way, if you and your family want to get out and enjoy the holiday cheer, it won't be that hard to find. Let's start out with what's going on in Jonesboro. It's the Winter Wonderland from First Community Bank, and it's going on through December 31st. We've told you about this one a lot, so we won't spend too much time here, but the Winter Wonderland is going to be opening this week. And buddy, let me tell you, I'm going to go through there. I think I'm going to do a live broadcast in it, so just look forward to that later this week. That's a lot of fun. That's all downtown in Jonesboro, so you definitely got to get in and check that out. Also, something happening right around the corner. The Walnut Ridge Christmas Parade is going to be taking place Tuesday, December 5th at 6 p.m., but the deadline for entries it's just about here. So you better get ready for that. If you want to get entered in, call the Walnut Ridge City Hall at the number 886-6638 for the sign-up information, or just get in touch with them on Facebook. In Imboden, they're doing something too. Sunday, December 3rd, it's the big Christmas parade for their community. The lineup begins at 2 p.m. The parade itself begins at 3. And so that should be a lot of fun for the community there. But it's not just for Imboden that fun's going to be taking place. Oh no, Black Rock is doing some Christmas fun as well. It's going to be Saturday, December 9th from 9 a.m. till 9 a.m. The fire department Santa run takes place. No, that's going to begin at 9 a.m. and run for a while. Then at 2 p.m. the Christmas parade will take place, and Santa will meet children afterward in the gym. So you got to make sure you take the kids to Santa. Otherwise, they won't be able to tell him what they want for Christmas, and he won't be able to get the list right and check it twice. In Hardy, there's going to be some Christmas stuff going on Saturday, December 9th. It's a big parade there, and the theme this year is the Nutcracker. The parade starts at 11 a.m., but you got to call City Hall if you want to join. That's the number to call, 856-3811. The winner actually gets a trophy, and they're going to get to display this trophy on the top of their float this year, and they'll be the defending champions next year. Maybe they can win 2 times in a row. Although a championship belt would have been my choice, not everybody listens to the wrestling fan. And in Hoxie, a Hoxie Christmas parade is taking place Thursday, December 7th at 6 p.m. A big $200 grand prize there, with other prizes too. To get involved in this one, you don't have a whole lot of time, but you got to call Rita Russell at 870-759-1146. Most of these actually are available if you want to find more information on them on the city's respective Facebook page. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us. We invite you to come back tomorrow at 4 p.m. and every weekday at 4 p.m. Monday through Fridays. We're here for you right here on NEA Report's Facebook page. You can also catch the show after the fact on our YouTube page. Subscribe and you'll get the forecast and the newscast all edited together right for you every single day. Back tomorrow with more news, and don't forget to follow us on NEA Report for the latest news all the time, 24/7. Have a nice evening.